Yes, I am.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Hey, welcome everybody. Welcome. You are in the marriage shop. I'm Mike. That beautiful lady there is Wendy. And it is Monday night again. So welcome back to the marriage shop, y'all.
Yeah, we're back again. So, in case you're wondering, yes, it's Monday. It's Monday Night Football, and the Raiders are playing. They're playing the Chiefs, and yes, I'm a Raiders fan, but I also like Patrick Mahomes. I think and Kelsey. I think they got some good things going.
Whoa.
I'm just saying
You know
the
what?
Raiders are gonna win.
No.
I'm claiming that. I'm predicting it. They're gonna win by 3.
Listen, you're not gonna be okay. That's a violation.
It's not a violation.
You can't. I mean, I can understand the whole complimenting your people tomorrow morning or something. Your other team. But if you got,
they're not my other team.
But yeah, but you can't be like complimenting the competition, especially
but
since they went in there last year. We were at the game last year, this very game, and the Raiders got drugged all around the field. So now you're like complimenting the competition.
Yeah, it's a love-hate relationship
okay.
with the Raiders. I think they should have kept Mariota and got rid of Derek Carr. But that's a whole other conversation.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm repping the Raiders tonight. So those of you that don't know, that's my team. That's his team. But
I don't think they can see it.
I'm on his team.
So, is it too early for me to get like unrealistic expectation and start talking crazy? Probably.
It is, but I saw a little sparkle in your eye last night.
You noticed that?
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
It was like, whoa.
It's that football season sparkle.
It could happen. It could happen.
Hope springs eternal.
That's what y'all say. After every win,
Cowboys?
every comeback, whatever it is, when they pull it out, it's like, we could go to the Super Bowl. I mean, it just skips past everything. Anyway.
That's not me. That happens, though.
We are back in Evans. Did we go anywhere?
No, we did not.
No, it just felt like it.
It felt like it. It was, but it was a long week, a good week, an amazing weekend.
Okay, so tell us about your weekend.
Well, I think I will. So we just came off the Unity Men's Breakfast 2022. We hadn't done that since COVID. COVID year 2020. And so we did that here in the Augusta area, something that we do. It's about building relationships and kind of creating this space for deeper conversation. And we started with men several years ago, and it's been absolutely amazing. This past weekend, I was told by some people it was the best ever. And so, and it's funny because I think post-COVID, there weren't as many people as it were in past events, but it seemed like more people. But it was just intense, the energy in there. A lot of men had a chance to connect, and it was just great. Hey, thanks, Alvin. Alvin was there. He said it was amazing. Good. Appreciate it. And also, I see Shelly Wilson is in the house.
Yep, Nicolette is in the house. Shannon Cannings is in the house, live from the hospital. We love you too. Lisa McNeil is in the house. There's a Michael, let me see, I saw it earlier. Mike Rogers is in the house. Nakia Hopkins Grays is in the house. And Mia Friesen Jolly is in the house, and Michael Ewens is in the house. So those were all of the early check-ins. Thanks, guys, for being here.
Yeah, so go ahead. I'll tell you now. Lisa said we could go. Exactly.
That's what it is.
Delusional as it is, who cares? It's
bit.
Football. We don't need reality. All right? So I'll take it. That's right, Lisa. We represent. Anyway, but hey, grab people, share this. It's second Monday. And so if you've been around for a little while, you know that we focus on a topic that is relevant to singles. However, you also know that we bring that thing back around. So if you've been married for a little while or a long time, I think you'll still either have something to offer or something to glean from this conversation. So go ahead and grab your people, get them on in here right now.
Right. So Single Second Mondays. Is that what you said?
I said Second Mondays for singles. So basically, I said the same thing in a different way.
Yeah, but I think the topics kind of, it reminds us of how we got here. It's relevant to us even if you're married.
Yeah.
And you married folks, we lean on you to really kind of share and chat it up in the comments with the single people that might be on. So I sent some invitations to some single folks. So hopefully we'll get a couple of them to jump in, including our daughter.
Is that right?
Yeah, so I don't know.
My
We'll
goodness.
see. We'll see.
Well, let's see what happens. That should be interesting if she jumps on in here.
So, you remember what we talked about last week?
Nah.
We were talking about what you wouldn't do for love.
Yeah, what you wouldn't do for love.
Yeah.
And so we actually need to do a part 2 on that, right?
Yeah.
Because there's been quite a bit of feedback about that.
Is
And
there?
there has been some life change. I'm not going to put anybody's business out there on the street. Wait a minute. Did she put her own business on the street?
No.
She didn't?
No.
Oh, no. Okay, so I'm not putting any business out there on the street. But listen, y'all. I mean, I'm not trying to overstate this.
Yeah.
But, I mean, we changing lives in the marriage shop.
Well,
like
I don't know about that.
Because the whole idea, the whole premise of the conversation was started because you went to the Cowboys game with us, obviously, and for the second time you wore Cowboy gear. I actually got a Raiders shirt. I was gonna wear it tonight, but I'm too fresh off this win. I gotta just ride this a little bit. But I got a Raiders shirt. I wore it to a Raiders game. That's right. Don't judge me. All right? Because and the question was, would you do that?
Yeah.
Like, it's something as trivial. If you don't follow sports, then you probably are thinking this is ridiculous anyway.
Right.
But if you do, if you all are landing on two different sides of that thing, it's not trivial to put on the spouse of the team. I mean, the jersey or shirt of the team that your spouse likes.
Yeah, and
right?
then I launched a challenge to all of the wives out there to invest in some of their husband's favorite team gear. And it doesn't have to be football. It could be anything. It could be anything. And so I want to hear from you guys if any of you took me up on that. Clarence Perry, glad you're in the house tonight.
What's going on,
and
sir?
Francis Anthony, it's been a while, but so glad you dropped into the marriage shop tonight. Yeah,
and I have to say, for people like the Ramises, for example, who they both follow the same team.
Roll Tide.
So it doesn't. That challenge doesn't count for y'all. Find something different. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, well, I mean. Yeah.
No, it does. It literally does not, right?
It does not.
But it's the spirit of the challenge is there something that you would do for your spouse that you might not otherwise do? Right?
Yeah.
What wouldn't you do for love?
Right. So, I mean, whether that's going to the concert of their favorite artist versus your favorite artist, going to an opera or a play, if that's not usually your thing, listening to their music, going to do things that they like to do, like go fishing or go roller skating or go for walks if you're not into that. Those types of things, going to the beach versus the mountains, what would you do? And what would you be willing to do?
Yeah. And not complain about it.
And not complain about it. Brian McNeil, thanks for joining us. And Lisa McNeil says, it's harder than some people might think. Wearing anything that's not a star feels strange.
It is. Oh, it's strange. It feels like betrayal, and it feels like you're throwing off the sports universe when you do that.
Yeah.
Anyway, but it's about more than that, right? And so, as Wendy kind of so eloquently laid out, even like going to some stores, I remember, my mom, she'd take us shopping back in the day, and it'd be the fabric store. It would be, what was it, Lisa? Rice's or whatever. It's kind of like Lord and Taylor, but back when. And so we go there, and it was just like, it was a vast hole of nothingness.
My goodness.
And I remember we turned, and the daylight be shining through the doors, and we're walking toward the daylight, and I'm thinking, yes, I'm finally about to escape this prison. And then she cuts to the right or left, and it's like she's looking at every rack on the way out the door. I'm like, we're leaving. So that was traumatizing. That was traumatizing, as you can see. So then I became an adult, and I remember the day I felt that feeling. I'm walking, I'm like, we're about to get out of here, and I'm talking to Wendy, and I turn around because I get no response. Wendy is gone. Like, y'all, she's down the aisle, 5 rows deep. So I had to fight not to have that, to relive that trauma.
Yeah. But, I mean, you were triggered by that.
I was triggered.
But I'm not your mom.
Yeah, well, no, true. That's
and
true.
so we
So
kinda,
that's the lesson. She
right.
ain't your mama. But
Right.
I don't. Which means I can say, come on, woman.
Oh. So Nicolette says, LOL, he's a 49ers fan. I don't do NFL anymore, but I'll rock a cap jersey. For real, though, I was considering getting some cheap NBA tickets and sitting through a game. Oh, she said our mic's not
She
right.
said it's back.
Oh,
So,
it's back.
all right.
Okay.
So
Fair
I'm
enough.
just turning. Just whenever it's not right, just
Yeah,
turn
let
it
us
up.
know.
Oh
Okay.
yeah, Tallheimers. How do we even pronounce that? I don't remember seeing it spelled that way.
I've never heard of that.
Anywho,
Yeah.
all right, but let's get on with tonight.
Yeah. Well, so tonight, not tonight just yet. So 2 weeks ago, we talked about the importance of mental health, and if your spouse is struggling to live, and if
Yes.
you are challenged or have someone in your family that's challenged with depression, or and I want to distinguish depression or mental illness from having suicidal thoughts or suicidal ideation, because they're not one and the same. But that's kind of what we talked about because it was Suicide Awareness Month. And then last week we also started out by talking about our time in Dallas and how we shared with at an event where the focus was really about fighting against breast cancer, and it's
Yes.
Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And then Lori was on and she reminded us that it's also Domestic Abuse and Domestic Violence Awareness Month.
Yes.
And so, in the years past, we brought Lori on, so we'll probably bring her on again because I don't want to gloss over that topic. It's a really important one. And especially since COVID, and having to navigate just different norms in different scenarios and environments, we've seen an increase in domestic violence,
Yeah.
specifically in marriages between spouses and children. So I just wanted to say that. But tonight, what are we talking about tonight?
Tonight we're talking about if it matters where you meet. So Shelly said it's a little staticky, going in and out. So y'all just give us some feedback on what you're hearing, so we can make the appropriate adjustments. And so, are you on?
Yeah, that is kind of staticky. Yeah.
No, I trust you. I trust you. So
Okay.
we'll have to figure it out. All right.
I don't know.
So we might change up mics, y'all. So we might sacrifice quality for a different kind of quality.
So you
All
guys
right?
can hear us. Yep.
Okay. Thank you. Jeez.
But thank you for that.
Right.
Keep us straight, because we want to, we don't want y'all to miss anything. Not just that we have to say, but we often just repeat whatever it is that you guys say. So Brian says it's static and intermittent. And then Justice Smith says, hey, he loves us. And we love y'all. I mean, I really mean that. We say
Seriously.
that we're praying for you guys and that we love y'all and we appreciate your support. But we're not just saying that just to be saying it, right? I think it would be disingenuous if we just kind of spouted platitudes.
I guess those are.
And just for the sake of saying it, we mean it. We mean it. It really blesses us to be able to connect with you, and we like the comments that you guys make. There's some good stuff out there. She says, "LOL is more noticeable with Mike. Take the bass out."
That's so funny. Thank you. Hey, listen, here on the Marriage Shop, we have remote producers. I guess that's y'all,
is so
right?
funny.
So hey, I dropped some bass. Actually, I'm gonna do
makeup.
that.
I got a little shine working. Can
Come
I get
on.
somebody to
Okay.
help me?
All right.
All right. So, I left my earrings off.
You know what? You are beautiful.
Put my hair down.
Like, just, you know what? Nobody
I don't
even
have my earrings on.
those people, they don't care.
Okay, so anyway, we were talking about, I don't even know how we got into the topic, because this is how it goes, y'all. Every week we'll be doing something. We might just finish working or something else. We'll be right in the middle of it. And then Mike will look at me and he'll say, so what are we going to be talking about
on
this
the Marriage
week?
Shop? That's it.
In the Marriage Shop. And it's like, I don't know. We got to wait for something to drop in. We got to wait for the spirit to nudge us in a certain direction. So we knew Second Monday was coming up, and it just so happens that, we openly talk about our girls and their relationships and how, honestly, they have prioritized school and their interests and all their activities and events and everything else over pursuing actual relationships. And so this whole idea of meeting in the dark. we talking about? I was saying something about, remember if when you used to be in the club, right? I don't know if y'all used to go to the club. I have always loved to dance. I know Mike loves to dance.
You know y'all were in the club.
We were up in the club.
Some of y'all were in the club. Most of y'all were in the club.
Yeah, and so it was this whole thing about, you could be up in the club and you don't even have to be drinking. I mean, it's hot, so it's hazy, it's dark. And then they have different color lights, maybe some reds and some blues. And anyway, during the course of the night, everybody's hot, it's packed in there. You really can't really see and tell what somebody looks like when you're in the club. And so, a lot of people would be like, oh, can I buy you a drink? And it's like, and even that's changed, right? Because now it's like, no, I'll get my own drink. Look, how about this? I'll get my own drink and then you just cash at me.
That's so funny. Is that a thing? Is that happen?
I don't know, but so you can do that. I'll give you that one for free. So if somebody offers to buy you a drink, just tell them you'll get your own, and then tell them to cash app you.
That seems like a way to run a bit of a hustle, though.
It's not a bit of a hustle. I mean, if they're standing right next to you when you order your drink and buy it.
I guess so. I could just see people saying, I get it in a minute. Don't look over my shoulder. I don't know. I would just never. That's just it's a foreign concept to me. I would. No. Or
I buy my own drink and you could just give me the money. Give me $5.
Well, how about let's just have a conversation?
Let's just have a conversation.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because go ahead.
Yeah. But the point was, where are you meeting people, right? Yeah. Because we've heard people say it's hard to find a mate. It's hard to find good people. Where are the quality people at? And people often talk about the most common places to meet people are church, school, the grocery store, the laundromat.
See. Go ahead, continue.
The club, or at a concert, or a game, or a house party, or one of your friends hooks you up with somebody else.
That's funny. I guess it reminds me of, what are we going to have for dinner?
The way that you asked me, what are we going to talk about this week?
That's funny.
Yeah, that's good.
Kroger, the Bia Jeffries, what's up? So, don't forget the gym. So,
especially the produce section.
Chris said, buying drinks, I send over and order fries. Mind blown. Never seen it, never done it. It's genius.
Let me feed you,
Who
baby.
Who doesn't like fries? Extra hot fried vegans? Are fries not? What's wrong? A potato's not meat.
But if it's cooked, and depends on the type of oil that it's cooked in.
I mean, who's cooking in a vat of animal fat? I mean, it's like canola. I don't know what or peanut oil. That's not meat.
Yeah.
I think that's vegan approved right there. Yeah. Look at that.
But here's the real truth. We're not in the game anymore, so we need to hear from you guys. Where's the best place to meet, or where are you meeting the people that you're dating? Online?
Yeah. Tell you what.
That's another one.
Yeah. Where's the best place? And where's the worst place? If you read the intro, you'll see some of those places that some people consider the best places are sometimes considered the worst place. I thought we were cracking up. She said we're cracking her up. What's the worst place, right? Because, it could be that church. I don't know, Walmart.
I remember what it was.
What?
We were talking because we went to church yesterday, and our pastor reminded us that he was on the marriage shop, and he was talking about the one where we were talking about one person being an extrovert and talking to people, and the other person wanting to go ahead and get in the car.
Yes.
And you said they even flashed the lights. That's how we got to this. And I was like, yes. I said, because if you ever been to the club, you know what that means. If you get the lights flashing, like the flicker on and off, then it's either last call or last dance. Depends on where you are in the country, I guess. And that last dance is usually they'll be like, I'm just going to play this slow song. I'm just going to, put this one out for the... And so you got to...
The pressure is on. It's like, it's the last joint. If you're going to make your move, you got to do it. Do it now.
Shoot you a shot on this last song. And here's the thing is, it might be a slow song. Oh, last call, Nicolette says. Yeah. And so, work. Thanks, Clarence Perry. Yeah, at work. Did I say work? I said school. Yeah. Chris says 33% of people 18 to 33 meet online. Oh, that's good. That's good. Giving us real stats.
So now it becomes a question of online where. right?
Yeah.
Because all online platforms are not created equal. So
yeah, we talked about that.
Yeah, we
talked
did.
about that. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Right.
Wendy did all
Christian
her homework
mingle.
on Christian mingle. Yeah, it's something about Christian mingle. I don't know. I mean, it's clever. I don't know if I would have named it Christian mingle.
Farm people meet.
Why not? It's an affinity group.
Good one. Yeah.
Lisa said, personally, I never met anyone. Wait, whoa. I got to go back to Lorianne.
Right.
Lorianne said, worst
places
places to meet people at church, the club, and work. So
Yeah.
that's exactly, right? Now, some people might say, hey, you meet them at church, they worship. You meet them at the gym, they work out. You meet them at work, they got a job. I would simply say, add on one more word.
What?
Today.
Well, here's the thing, though.
Yeah.
Here's the thing about that. So church and work, or the gym, right? If you have a membership, the challenge with those is if it doesn't work out or they turn out to be creepy or something is wrong, you got to go back.
Oh, yeah, we've seen that.
That could be
a
back
little awkward.
to church and back to work. And so I would just say be cautious about those places. The club is kind of like, I could give you the wrong name. I could give you a fake name. I could give you the wrong number. Like our daughter did.
Yeah.
Not only did she give them the wrong number, but she gave them Mike's number.
True story.
It was like 3 dudes. Wasn't it?
And I was torn too, because I'm like, at first I'm like, what? And then it was like, is this Sydney? I'm such and such, and I'm like, I was torn, like, do I just go ahead and give them like some fake information, say like, yeah, no, leave me alone? Do I say, hey, dude, she really not into you? I decided to just go silent and tell Sydney to find another way.
That is so funny. It let us know that we had not adequately prepared her for the invasive move. Like, you got to come up with your fake name before you go, and you got to come up with like, my phone died or something.
Right.
You just gotta be a little creative with that one. Chris says the move is to visit other friends' church.
That's right.
Because they're not looking for people in their church. You're not looking for people in your church, so you visit.
That's right.
Fifth Fridays is what we're talking about.
If it works out,
then
you're growing the family. If it doesn't, you're doing damage control. Love it.
That's good. So Lisa says, personally, I never met anyone worth seeing at the club. We met in college, but I can see the grocery store or an event like a game or concert. Lord, I hope I never have to. Yeah. Oh, look. Nicolette is clowning. Here, talk to my daddy. Exactly.
Yeah. So,
Chris says, I'll see y'all next Sunday.
Come on down, man. Come on down.
All are welcome.
Indeed. That is something. That's something, and I actually put out there, because what we're going to do with the unity thing is start doing what we call fellowship on Fifth. Yeah. That's just not a men's thing. That's like an everybody thing, really. But like Fifth Saturday, Sunday, whichever day you worship, like find somebody, tell them, hey, I'm coming to see you. Or call somebody and say, hey, come see me or whatever. Yeah. And just as a way to just start creating a way to interact or whatever. But and I mean, it might be if you're single, it might be a great way to connect on some things.
I'm just cracking up right now because I'm over here sweating and you have on like a sweatshirt and
Isn't that something? But that's just what it is, right?
That's what it is.
Because I feel totally, this is like perfect room temperature right now for me.
This is where I need my fan. So anyway, but we were talking about this whole idea, and that's what it was prompted by, flipping the lights on and off, and you got to shoot your shot in those last minutes. But here's the thing. You could be like with the person that's been eyeing you all night, and you're like, okay, well, maybe he's kind of cute or she's kind of cute or whatever, and you decide to get into that last dance. So you all close, it's all sticky and hot. If this ever happened for you, I don't know. And then the lights come on.
It's like, whoa.
Oh, man. The lights come on, and it's like, It's like, is one of your ears smaller than the other?
Wow, really? So now... Oh goodness!
It's not about looks.
Yeah, that light is like a filter on your phone, right?
Yes.
It's like a filter. So that's one thing you don't do. Here's one rule: don't make any commitments until boom, there's some light shown on the situation, so you know what you got. But
that was the whole point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so I made it.
I mean, but it's like, Oh, I didn't know all your teeth were gold.
Listen,
I couldn't tell
if you have gold
when
teeth,
the lights were out.
we mean no disrespect. We mean no disrespect if you like, you know, if you got fronts. Everybody makes their decisions in life. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
If you made that decision, it's all good. We love you, and there's somebody for you.
But what this prompted was for us to talk about this idea of what happens in the dark eventually comes to light, which that's biblical, right? And so this whole idea of that, how you went in, how you connected, where you're looking, really sometimes has some impact on what you get.
Does it?
Does it?
Does it? I mean, you might be right. I'm just, because I would imagine that everybody out here that's, you know, found themselves their person.
Yeah.
That all of the places that we say is probably not the best place to meet somebody. Yeah. They probably been in those places. Yeah. Now, I guess there's a timing component to it, right? But does it really matter? I wonder, right? Now, there are some things, if you see people in certain places, then you know that there are some things that they condone or approve of, maybe, right? Maybe. And so where you see someone tells you a bit about where their head is at, maybe where their heart is at today. I think that's good. I think that's good, because even if you meet somebody at church, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're always at church, or that they go every Sunday, or that they're active, or gives you any indication of their level of faith or their faith journey. Or their behavior or their decision making, for that matter.
True. Right? So where you meet, really, I mean, it has some bearing. It does. But what's really important is to have the conversation, to dig a little deeper, and to really kind of know what it is that you're looking for before you go out there looking for it. Because I think when you don't have those standards in place, we talked about red flags, but when you don't have in mind what you're looking for, then you're more apt to take anything that comes your way.
What if you're in a posture where you are ready and you're open, like, okay, God, I'm ready, send me whoever. You're not looking for anything in particular. Yeah. You're just waiting. Then what?
Yeah, then what? I mean, you know, it's possible that people are in different places, right? So what is the best way for single people to meet who, and here was another question that came up. What's the point of dating? Because I was like, okay, well, why go on a date if you're not planning to go on another date? And if multiple dates is going to lead somewhere, where are we going with this, right? Which might have been too far down the road. But before I get all the way down the road, I just want to say this. Nicolette says, that's a true test. If you can make it past my dad, then you might be worth it. I want my kids to send them my way. I'll conduct interviews. Yeah. But in this case, she didn't want to talk to them. So she could have given them any number, but she gave them yours.
She gave them mine.
I know.
That was interesting. And I like Lisa's approach. Lisa's approach gives you plausible deniability. Right? Give out best friend's name or her own number with the one wrong digit. Yeah. Yeah. So you go home guilt free with that approach. I suppose.
But here's the thing though. When we were giving out numbers and everything, early in the game, we didn't have cell phones or pagers. Then pagers came along, then cell phones came along. And so now you give somebody your number, they're like dialing you right then to see if your phone rings.
No, because see, you know, I need you to come on to 2022 with me and Nabiha, right?
Okay,
because she said this is why you have to give out Snapchat so you can choose if you want to add them back or not.
Love that. Or your Instagram handle or any of that.
Yeah. So, I mean, and that's the thing, you know, when people are exchanging information, if I'm listening and I'm like, people aren't exchanging numbers anymore. Nobody wants to talk. Right? True. Which is a whole nother conversation about when you actually do talk and you're able to, if you're able to communicate effectively, right? So, like how you start your communication journey. Yeah. Maybe we'll talk about that at some other point. Right now, we're just talking about if it matters where you meet people or not. Yeah.
Does it matter where you meet? And do you need to make an adjustment to where you're looking, right? Yeah. And I mean, and that's based on if you've met 3 people at the club and none of them have worked out, then maybe you should look somewhere.
Well, I would venture to guess just based on what I'm reading from the tea leaves.
Yeah.
Like, the club is a thing, right? The club, the bar, all those places
Mm-hmm.
where people gather to socialize.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm willing to bet that a lot of those connections are not made in those spaces.
Ah,
right?
okay.
We went to Jasmine's wedding, Jasmine and Morris.
Yeah.
My niece and now nephew.
Yeah.
Back in December. And so, what are they? What, mid-20s?
Yeah.
And so we're kind of watching. I'm standing up on the balcony, recording and watching what's going on.
Yeah.
And it's just the way that people interact, young people interact, like in that type setting, completely 100% different. And in fact, we should have zero idea about what the club game looked like, right?
That's what I said. Yeah, yeah.
But 100% different. And so those opportunities didn't look like they were as readily apparent. It was more people, kind of grouping with the friends they came, but not a whole lot. It was weird. It was just like these big blobs moving around the floor, but not really individually connected.
But I kind of equate that to what we've seen on National Geographic, where like you've seen like the birds or the spiders, and they're like doing their little dance. It's like I'm over here, like, can you see me? That's what I think is happening. I think even in those groups, it's like, oh, I'm about to bust this move. Is she looking? Is she looking?
Did he see me? I laughed because it was kind of that.
That's kind of what it is.
I mean, it was some serious, like, everybody back up.
I'm about to do this.
That's funny.
Or like a Soul Train line. I mean, it's like spotlight on me.
Yeah, but then when they people, like individuals may start to get closer to be like more like, okay, I see you. Okay, that's enough.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So, Brian says Jazz and Morris, very rare meet, high school sweethearts. Yeah, these days. I mean, and there are a few. I guess it just depends on where you are. The bottom line is where you meet is as important as knowing what you're looking for,
Do
right?
you think? But you say that pretty definitively. I ask again, is that the case?
Well, I think, I'll say it's equally as important, right? Because I think knowing what you're looking for is really important, and knowing what you're not looking for. Because I think if you don't know what you're looking for, then you're more apt to accept anything and everything.
Well,
do you think no?
I think that is the slippery slope thing. If you don't know, then it's the slippery slope.
Oh,
right?
My goodness.
The dreaded slippery slope is like, if you don't know what you're looking for, then you don't stand for something, you're gonna fall.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's exactly that, because I think that a lot of folks don't exactly know what it is. I think big picture, you kind of know. You know, like, hey, if I knew that I knew I was looking for a Christ following girl. I knew that.
Yeah.
But as I said before, when I prayed for God to send me my wife, and I prayed. I'm like, okay, I'm tired. I'm tired of living this way. I'm ready to trust you. And I said, okay, God, just send her. When you send her, I'll know who she is. Before that, I had like a laundry list of stuff. Yeah. And we've even told people, hey, you need to know what the must-haves and the deal breakers are. Yeah. I think what I basically did is take all those things and I said, you know what I need, God. You know what I would appreciate. You know what is, going to be a problem for me. Yeah. And I didn't, when I gave it to him, I said, hey, just send her. I'll know her. I know who she is, and the answer will be yes.
Yeah.
Boom. That was it.
I think that's important because you're talking about characteristics, right? So there's criteria and there's characteristics. And I think that often there's some people who are kind of surface characteristics, what you look like. You're my type or you're not my type based on looks alone. Yeah. And we know that looks can be deceiving. Yeah. And so that's not necessarily the most accurate barometer. It's not to say that you shouldn't have your preferences, but you certainly should not, you probably should not eliminate people based on looks alone. Because your preferences deceive you. Yes. Right? I mean, you may think, hey, I like this or that physical characteristic. Yeah. But it's shallow and you're missing it. Yeah. Right? Yeah. The word says, this is 1 Samuel, it's on chapter 16, verse 7. It says, the second part of that, the Lord sees not as man sees. Man looks at the outward appearance. Yeah. But the Lord looks at the heart. Yeah. And if you're not looking at somebody's heart, then you are missing
in effect, you're missing the whole person, because what you see externally will change. Mm-hmm. It just will. Everybody, we like what we like, whatever. Certain things catch your eye, but you have to understand that that's just not quite enough.
Yeah,
it's not nearly enough.
Yeah, I think it's like a job interview too, right? And so it's not just about 50 questions, but it is about maybe circumstances and scenarios, seeing how people are around other people, right? Yeah. People that they care about and people that they don't. How they interact, all those things give you the best opportunity to see more about the person, not just how they are with you. Because I think when we're with the person that we're interested in, or we're trying to gain their interest, then we naturally try to show our best selves, right? We try to put forward who we want to be in those situations, and so I think it's always a good idea to be in a family situation or a crowd situation or a scenario where you get to observe how they interact with other people.
Yeah, maybe. I don't think that's enough either, right? Because some people are they play the long game, right? And so ultimately, I believe that a few things begin to reveal someone. And I think Nicolette said it, right? Yeah. She said, I don't think it matters where you meet. It's about where your heart and their heart is.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? And so I think that certain things begin to reveal someone's heart, right? Adversity can begin to reveal who you're really dealing with. Yeah. Rejection, like the answer no, can begin to show you who you're really dealing with. Yeah. I think it's about the time it takes and requires, and so that's why, like, even the place where you meet somebody, and I know it's like, you get married and your spouse wants the club, and somebody looking at you like, where'd you meet him? Well, I mean, at the club. Right, or whatever, right? Yeah. And so, or they're online all the time, and it's like, man, where'd you meet exactly? And so, that's a thing, right? But I do think the heart of a person can help change their behavior. It can help change their decision making. It can help them to kind of align a bit, right? So how do you know that? I don't know exactly, right? But I do that time begins to tell that story. Yeah. Because you can only hold up a facade, but for so long.
That's true. Right? And I love that your dad said, we all know that church is a great place to meet the one. Just saying, there are those who use the church for that purpose. That's true. I mean, people know and they go for that purpose, right? I'm going to go to your church because all of the people that I'm looking for are at your church. Yeah. I heard about the people at your church. Yeah. He also says beauty is only skin deep.
Yeah. Oh, see, some of y'all know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So it is where you meet. I think there's something. It's just not the only thing. Yeah. And because things change, it doesn't say necessarily where that's going to go. Yeah. Right. And so, versus where you meet someone, maybe it's about when you begin to discover the heart of a person, what are they saying? Like, how are they responding to you? How are they treating you? How are they making their decisions? Are they doing it based on the word, or are they doing it based on just their opinion?
Yeah, that's good.
Do they spend any time, if you're looking for somebody who is in the word, do they spend any time studying that, reading that? Like, what do they listen to on a regular basis? What comes out of their mouth?
Yeah. And what, I mean, basically what you're talking about is what's the evidence, right? And so I think that, I know our pastor and other pastors often will say that you have to know the word for yourself, right? To be able to discern if someone is using the word to deceive you, even in those situations. And so it's, do I know enough to woo you or to get you or to get your attention? And I'm just using that to get your attention, but it's not really something that I have in my heart, right? I think you bring up some really good points. Nakia Gray says, seeing my husband in different situations and context over time was helpful. And I just think that is true, because in life, once you're married, you're going to experience lots of different situations, and it potentially are things that neither of you have ever experienced before. And so, how they navigate adversity, like you mentioned, or disappointment or rejection, the tough things, really can reveal a lot about someone's character and who they really are. So your dad wants to know, how risky are we met online relationships?
I don't know. Somebody young tell me. Somebody who's on, or should I say, online relationships tell me. Because I think that as you begin to unpack, like meeting someone in person, meeting them online, I think that there are risks and benefits, right, to both of those. And Kia Hopkins Gray says she met her husband online.
Yeah,
there you go, pops. See, right? So because I think in the beginning, I think that online gives you an opportunity to do some vetting and to do some sizing up.
Yep.
Right. Versus going out and committing your time and yourself to being in a place with somebody.
Yeah,
right? And matter of fact, I think Nicolette mentioned safety earlier. What's in terms of the best place to meet someone, and so online gives an opportunity to really do some research and homework. You can dig pretty deep online too.
Yes, you can.
Right, you can get almost stalkerish. You can go pretty deep. So
you can investigate.
Investigate. Deeply.
You can investigate deeply.
Right? But at a certain point, the meeting has to happen.
Right. So, lest there be a catfish situation.
Right.
So
we talked about catfishing a bit. We're not going into catfishing tonight, are we?
No, we're not. We're not. Okay. But I'm just saying, because he asked, his question was about the risk. And so that's why I introduced that. Nicolette responded to him. And I like that. She says, in my opinion, almost as risky as meeting in church or work. They all have their good and bad people. Meeting him at church doesn't equal safe.
I agree.
That's good.
Totally.
That's good.
Yeah.
And then Nakia goes on to say, we met online and then developed a friendship in person. We knew each other for 6 years before we married. Worked on being just friends for a couple of years and then dated a couple. So that's really good. Thank you for that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And they've been married 15 years now. So bless you for sharing that.
That is perfect.
Yes.
See, 6 years. Because I can guarantee you this. All right? And anybody want to challenge me on this? Come with it. But I'll guarantee you that after 6 years, if you marry someone after 6 years, it is very unlikely that any undetected crazy is going to pop out after 6 years.
You sound pretty convinced.
I am convinced of it, because we're talking human beings here. People cannot hold it together for 6 years. There's too many ups, down situations or whatever. And so a lot of times when something goes awry in the marriage, when it's just like, whoa, that's way to the left, this is crazy. If you really begin to dig, you'll find that person saw evidence of that thing, like early on.
Sure.
But they were like, hey, you know what? We'll work through it. We love each other. It's going to be fine.
Yeah, right? Well, it's an interesting point you bring up, because the truth is there are some people who don't share things about themselves for many, many, many years, right? And until a circumstance or a situation occurs that reveals it, it may be something that they had not shown. I'm just saying.
Well, no, but I think we're talking about two different things, because you're saying they learned something about that person, maybe something they did, right? Something in their past that is revealed.
Oh, no. I just meant about them.
Yeah,
about how they handle things or how they respond in a situation.
I will. I'm telling y'all. I said it. I'm on the record. We're not taking this video down. After 6 years, if it's good, go ahead and marry them. It's good.
Wow. Oh my goodness.
If it ain't popping in 6 years, it ain't popping.
Oh my goodness.
Then it's just the normal marriage stuff.
So CP, we'll have to catch you up on the catfishing thing.
Can somebody
or go back and watch our video on catfish?
Or somebody get my dad a link on catfish. Matter of fact, Dad, what you need to go to MTV, watch Catfish. It'll tell you it'll give you everything, and you'll binge for months. It'll be great.
I love that. Nicolette is on it. We need to go ahead and just put her to work. So Shelly Wilson says, my cousin just married a guy she met online. He is a wonderful Jesus follower. She had to go through a lot of dudes before she a lot of duds before she found him. Thank you for sharing that. Yes. What are you laughing at? You were laughing at Nicolette?
No, I was laughing at Lisa.
Oh.
Yeah. So she said little has popped out of left for us, right? Yeah.
That's good.
Because the progression of that relationship, right? Because if they are the one, they're gonna be the one.
Yeah.
And so, but I love it. But I'm telling you now, y'all, Listen, I never throw the degrees out there. I never throw the profession out there, but I am a trained psychologist.
Oh my goodness! Wow.
I'm just saying. And
yeah, it's
but
true.
But if you watch people, I challenge you to find somebody who just kind of like after 5-6 years, probably not gonna happen.
I mean, it's a good point. I'm just saying that we never can say anything is absolute for everyone, right?
Okay, fine.
So
all right, I fair enough.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
Lisa, I'm laughing at her comment because she said most people can't hide who they are that long.
Yeah.
True. But she said it's the crazy family that comes out years later. Now that, yeah, because they'll hold it together on that visit. Mm-hmm. But at some point, there's this convergence, the events. Maybe it's a holiday, maybe it's a birthday, it's
family reunions. Oh my.
And next thing you know, it's like, whoa, who are these people? Because they're like, I don't care. He got to know sometime. So be at home now.
It's
so
like, we don't talk about Bruno. Why not? Michelle Moore Wilson, thanks for joining us. So Lorianne says, it's risky online because you can think you know a person after conversing over a few months, but you still don't know them until you spend time one-on-one. Same thing with meeting in church. Have one-on-one time. After 6 months, those true colors start showing. Make it 6 years. You good, Dr. White.
Thank you.
That's good. And Lori, I was talking about you earlier. We're going to have to set up a time to get with you in the next few weeks so we can do the side-by-side thing and talk about domestic violence awareness again.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if we can't get it in October, we'll just talk about it in November because it's important enough all year to talk about.
We'll get you on. Since it's getting a little, time is kind of getting away from us. I do want to, for anyone who still is on the idea that, someone can be discounted because of where you met them. I think that's not totally, it's not sound. It's not quite complete. And
Say more. What do you mean by that?
Well, there's some things to consider, like, just as I said, because if you meet somebody in the gym or at work, they work out or they have a job, like today. Well, I think the same goes for, where you meet somebody at a given day and time. Yeah. There's a lot of reasons why that person might be in that particular environment. And so I think it's important to consider, like, who they are. And frankly, if we're talking about meeting somebody, there's not a lot invested yet, right? But if there's a thought, there's an inkling, there's a sense that maybe there's some time is they're worthy of some time, or you may want to maybe investigate and learn more, but you're like, but they were in the club though. What does that mean? It may not mean anything. And so I think that, and even if somebody, you brought up the thing of, people's past, and, sometimes people have made mistakes. And it reminds me of John 8, right? When Jesus is out and the people bring this woman to him, right? She was accused of adultery. And they bring this woman to him, and they're like, basically, what are you gonna do?
Oh, right.
We got to do something because the law says she got to get stoned. Right. And so Jesus sits down, he just kind of scribbles, and then he's like, okay, let you who is without sin throw the first stone. Right. And what did they do? They walked away.
Yeah, they just dropped their rocks.
And exactly, Shelley Wilson, because if you met them in the club, guess what? You were in there club too. Yeah. Right? Wherever you meet somebody, there you are too. Yeah. But the powerful thing that happens in this account is that Jesus tells her, like, where are your accusers? Yeah. And she's like, they're not here. And he's like, well, I don't accuse you either. I don't condemn you. Go and sin no more. Yeah.
Right? I mean, I think as you bring that up, I think about people who say, especially when we're really young, and as we consider, imagine what married life is going to be like, or what our future looks like, and we make emphatic statements about what I'm not going to do, right? And so this whole idea of I'm not going to marry anybody that has kids, for example, right? I mean, people have said that, and it's understandable because there's a whole lot that comes with that. However, as you age and as that time starts to pass, what you said were were the criteria can change.
Yeah.
And so we've often said, create your list, but revisit that list, right?
Mm-hmm.
Be honest with yourself, because just because someone has a child doesn't really tell you the whole story.
Yeah.
It doesn't automatically mean that there's going to be drama.
Yeah.
It doesn't automatically mean that it's going to be hard. It does, there's a whole lot more to it than just on the surface. So, I want to marry somebody that's tall and drives a Tesla and loves dogs and cats and doesn't want to have any kids and can dress nice and blah, blah, blah. I mean, all of this stuff, and doesn't have any kids. And so the person is all of those things, but they have a son or a daughter.
It's
and
just
that's
like, wah, wah, right?
Yeah.
So,
do you say, okay, yep, that was my one thing?
That sounds like you just took us into another topic, though.
I did, which maybe we can pick up next month.
Maybe we can pick it up next month, because I'm just saying, it's like...
We're not going to go into another topic. We're wrapping this one up. But what I'm saying is...
There's a lot there.
No, because you mentioned this whole idea of really kind of judging a book by its cover, right?
Yes.
Or where you met them, really making meaning out of that environment or their choices or decisions. Yeah. We really don't know people until we know them. And so there has to be this process, although challenging for some, and anxiety provoking for others, there's the process of getting to know them.
Yeah.
And I think that even once you've gotten to know them, and even if it goes into a long-term committed relationship, and even if you decide to marry them, that the marriage in your relationship is a lifelong learning process. Yeah. There's never a point where any of us can say, I know them 100% completely. Yeah. We think we know, but there are things that we learn about each other every day, every week. Things change. And so I would say that it is lifelong learning, that you should always be curious about your partner. You should always be eager to learn everything that they are willing to share, and that you should also examine yourself in terms of how much you're sharing and how much you want them to learn about you. Because it is, as you continue, things change, and as adversity hits or challenges hit, if they lose a job or lose a family member or their health is impacted, all of those things reveal different aspects of your partner, your spouse, that you weren't aware of.
Yeah, and that's why that time component is so critical. Giving it time to evolve and time to develop, because life will insert everything that you need to know in order to understand what it is you have and what you're looking at.
Yeah.
And so I think oftentimes we don't wait for life to do those things. We'll ask questions, but what would you do if?
Yeah.
Right? What do you think about X, Y, and Z? Honestly, y'all, marrying somebody will often change the way that you perceive certain things. It'll change how you respond and how you react to certain things.
That's true.
It'll change how you think about it. And so, but in terms of wherever you are on a given day, you can ask someone, or you can, like somebody might have asked me some years ago, what would you do if a Rottweiler is running loose down the street, right? And I would have said, I'm gonna let him run. That's what I'm gonna do. Yeah. However, on that street, when I did see that Rottweiler running loose, my kids were on the end of that street and he was running in their direction. It completely changed what I would do on that day, because I watched that dog go at two people too. I mean, what do you do? I mean, they were grown. But when he started running toward the school, I had to get out that truck, right? So, circumstances will often change what you'll do, and that's what life delivers. Circumstances, it always will. Yeah. Always. And so you gotta take your time.
Yeah, and I love that, Tara. I'm glad that you shared that, because that was a really funny conversation we had. But she said lifelong learning. Yes, been with my husband for 25 years and just learned he doesn't like frogs. I remember that. You just don't know.
I remember that.
Yeah. So always stay open to that. Always become an excellent and interested student of your spouse or your lifetime, long-time committed partner. Be curious and go beyond asking questions.
You said your lifetime, long-time committed partner. Y'all know this is a marriage shop. You already know what it is.
Yeah, but it's the single shop.
Oh, that's
tonight.
right. That's right. My bad. Lifelong committed partner. Whatever. All right, it's the
Long-term
singles.
committed partner.
Yeah,
Yes.
she right. We got y'all. But stop playing though. What you waiting for? Anyway.
But go deeper than just 50 questions, right? It's not just about whether or not they have the answers to the test. It's about whether or not they pass the test.
It's about just living it out. A lot of things you don't have to ask. Mm-hmm. It's just living it out.
Yes.
Right? So
we want to encourage you guys. We want to pray with you guys, and we hope that you keep coming back, because it is the marriage shop. But what we're talking about is really being your best selves in your relationship, and whether you're preparing for marriage or you're in a marriage, or you're not preparing or in it, you're just thinking about it or forecasting for the future. Hopefully there's something that we can share that might be able to resonate with you. And if you think anything we share will resonate with someone you know, make sure you tag them, drag them in, and share this. And we'll be back next week.
Tag them and drag them. All right, I love it. I love it. Now next week, we are going to be
in the
I
air.
Believe we'll be we'll be actually landed. We'll be
we'll
in London.
Be
It will be 11 o'clock midnight or so in
for
London.
Us. I'll be wide awake.
Yeah, we'll probably be on because Wendy will be wide awake. So we're gonna try to catch y'all next week from across the pond. We'll see what happens.
We'll see what we can do. We're asking for your prayers for traveling mercies for us as we travel to connect with our youngest daughter while she's there, spend a little time together, and then come back home.
Yep.
Yeah.
So with that, but don't trip though. We are well guarded and armed over here. So anyway, that's another story. Let's pray, y'all. Heavenly Father, we just come tonight just thanking you, God, for the time that we spent. We ask that you bless everyone watching, everyone listening. If they're single, we just ask that you help any singles to just understand your plan for them and to step into that. And for our married folks, we just ask you continue to bless their relationships and watch over them, watch over all of our families and our homes. And we just thank you. And we'll be sure to give you all the honor, all the glory, and the praise. It's in your name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Amen. You didn't even really get to talk about unity that much, did you?
I didn't talk about it that much.
Yeah.
So, if y'all want to stay on, we will. Maybe I'll talk about it on a separate thing that's for that thing. Sometime this week. How about that?
Yeah,
we'll do that.
Check out the Unity pages at Unity 706 and see what it was all about. And I'd love to hear what you ladies think about maybe doing a Unity for women. So send me that message and we'll see what we can do.
Hey, it's on the strategic plan. Unity for women, unity for couples. It's about to be crazy around here. So y'all let me know what you think. You sure you want to do that?
Thank you, Sabrina Griffin.
All right. Hey, we appreciate y'all so much. Love y'all. See you soon. Yeah.
I'ma be around. I'ma always hold you down. Won't you come and hold me now? Won't you come and hold me now? I just got a new coupe. Yeah, I know I got a roof, but I always keep it down with you. Yeah, and I know they see, girl, you're my queen. And beauty speaks for itself loud and clear. Yeah. So throw it in the air. It's the sweetest sound to follow my ear. And I want the world to know I'll love you forever. And that's a long time, babe. But I got time for you, babe.